and welcome to another elite episode of the Get Authentic with Marques show. I'm your host, Marques Ogden. On today's episode, we are joined by Mr. Dave Taylor. And you know what? Let's bring him on down. How you doing today, Dave?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, my friend. Thank you for joining us. Everybody, we met Dave through one of my great friends and great clients, Chris Paradiso. Dave is very well and very to-do in the insurance industry, very successful. We are excited to have him join us today and kind of share his wisdom with our global audience. But first things first, Dave, what does the word authentic / authenticity mean to you?
Wow. You know, if you're going to ask me questions like this, you're supposed to give me like a cheat sheet so I can come prepared here. That
My
I'm just
bad, man. I
spitballing.
thought we were going to be good. My fault, Dave. I thought we
Well,
were going to be ready to roll.
here's the deal. It's going to be an authentic answer then, right? Because
There it is.
authenticity to me is it's who you really are in every moment, your true self, right? It's you're not playing games. You're not trying to manipulate situations. It's just like this is what I truly believe to be the best for this situation, being authentic in that moment.
You know what, Dave? I always tell people authenticity, being who you are in the moment, knowing that the moment is going to change. And that's a big thing because, again, you said, it's like you know who you are as you have to be your truest self in every moment, in every instance. And I love that. I feel if more people would do that, right, Dave, they have a lot more productivity and a lot more success in their life. Love this.
Well, and
Dave,
I'll tell you what, Marcus, I'll tell you one more thing too on that.
of course, please.
I think it makes your life a lot easier when you're authentic. If you're authentic, you don't have to wonder, what did I say yesterday? What am I going to say tomorrow? Like the games are over, right? It's easy. Life is simple. So,
Amen. Dave, before we get into something around your industry of insurance, can you please tell us your story, a little bit of your backstory to how you now got into being such a successful individual inside the insurance space?
yeah, man, I don't know how far back we want to go, but I will just say that I started off out of high school thinking I wanted to go on one career path. And I joined the Marine Corps, was in the Marine Corps, realized that wasn't the career path I wanted to go on with it being an electrician. So I was in college studying to be an accountant. I would say as God orchestrated things in my life, I ended up doing an internship for an insurance guy, helping him with his accounting. Fell in love with the profession of insurance, which I know for many people probably sounds really weird, but fell in love with insurance, just what the business model looked like, the opportunity to work with different people every day, unique situations. And so I joined Farmers Insurance back in 1987 as an agent here in Seattle, and did that until 2013, sold that agency and started an independent brokerage in 2013 with a good friend of mine as my business partner. And that's what I've been doing the last 12 years.
Love this. Love this. So, Dave, here's my question for you, sir. How does being authentic and living with and doing business with authenticity help people in your industry become successful? How does living and doing and being authentic help people become successful from your perspective?
Yeah, and I guess we have to figure out what's someone's definition of success, right? So it's going to be different for lots of people, but for me, it goes back to what we started this thing with and talking about authenticity. I'm sitting in a room right now where we had all of our agents came together yesterday for a full day meeting, and there's a couple topics we had to cover that were potentially uncomfortable. But what allowed me to be comfortable in those moments was that the message and the authenticity behind it was the same for them that it's been for the last 12 years. It wasn't me and they're going, okay, we're going to go a different direction. Now I've got to make up a new story to tell you why we're changing and all this, right? So I think for me, success is whether I'm dealing with a client, whether I'm dealing with someone on our team, an employee, is knowing that I always, from day one, have their best interest at heart. We're going to do the best thing for them. We're not playing games. And so I can then focus on growing the business instead of trying to put out these fires back here that I've created by, again, trying to game the system, right? So I think authenticity, as it comes to talking about what role does that play in success? To me, that's it. Like it's having a clear conscience all the time that I can just focus on growing the business, bringing people along because we're all on the same journey together. They know what's going on. They're clear on the vision and the plan.
You know, Dave, this is fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope what you heard him say in that last segment. Dave focuses on growing the business, scaling the business, while his team that he works with, they take care of the back end stuff. And Dave does not have to think about what did he tell them last time about this vision? What did he say that time about that vision? Dave is consistent. He's authentic, and that's what drives the success within his organization. And I love that. So, Dave, we've been very blessed to do a lot of speaking, as you and I have talked about in the industry. One of our big clients that we have a lot of business with and do a lot of work with is Mass Mutual. Spoke for Mass Mutual of Pittsburgh back in February in Cranberry, Pennsylvania, up in Steeler territory. And of course, you use Jersey behind me. I don't like going to Steeler territory, but hey, for a job, you do what you got to do. But we talked about Dave being an aspirational and inspirational leader. And I heard you say a word that is the pinnacle of an aspirational leader, vision, right, Dave?
Hmm.
Dave, how do you and your partner work together to create the vision and be those aspirational leaders that will then have the team follow that vision because they believe in you and your business partner?
Well, we just did it actually. We just finished a process here last week where we went and he and I took a couple days together building out our 10-year vision. It's been a while since we'd done it. We needed a refresh on it. So we just spent the time doing it. And I think for us, it was energizing, right? Just because, I mean, you can get so caught up in just doing what you've been doing and building a business and doing things that are working that you don't take time to stop and look and say, okay, well, what different things could we be doing? Are we really are we on the track where we want to go? So I think first and foremost for me, it's like, I need to be really clear on what that vision is because I can't expect anybody to get excited about something that I don't know the details on. Right. So for us, step one is building the vision ourselves. And then, and I think that if I heard your question correctly, I think the thing that gets people excited about it and willing to follow is when they see the passion that I have about it and the commitment I have to it. Right. I'm not just, a vision is not just saying, hey, it'd be cool if we did X. Let's go try to do X. No, the vision is, guys, here's where we're going. It's going to be awesome. I'm all in. I'm committed. And this is only going to be possible if we all do this together and we're all on the same page and we understand where we're going and everybody understands their area of accountability. That's going to allow us to get to that place. So hopefully that answered your question.
All right, perfect, Dave. Because here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. What Dave said is he and his partner came together and had their 10-year vision plan. And then I hope you really heard him say that him and his partner are all in. They're committed. They are disciplined. And that's the key, ladies and gentlemen. If you're going to be successful in any business, but especially in insurance, you have to be committed. You have to be disciplined because it's not going to happen overnight. Insurance was never set up to have what we call, nothing really is, an overnight success. There's a ton of work into it. And you know what, Dave? We just submitted an application to speak at ITC Vegas 2026 for, and the guy who, one of the founders, Bill Harris, we had a call with him last week. Bill actually is from my area in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. He went to high school with one of my good friend's brothers and known for a good amount. Met him in 2024. And the theme of their conference is Horizons, Endless Possibilities, right? Trying to help people to kind of rise up to those horizons, keep going. And I told him we would do a keynote on how to elevate using better connection and better performance to rise to the next horizon, to master the endless possibilities. And the key here, right, Dave, is connection. Can you please talk about to our global audience how important it is, no matter how much, and again, AI is a great thing. It's a tool. It's honest. I think it's great. Love it. But please talk about, Dave, how in any business, but especially in insurance, it's so important to build authentic relationships with people that connect you to them to help you grow your book of business.
Yeah, there's a couple different directions to go with that. I think there's the connections that I've made with your good friend Chris Paradiso and his mastermind group, and so those connections for me at a level of business owner to business owner where we're able to come together and iron sharpens iron, right, and really challenge each other, hold each other accountable to what we're doing in our business, how we're growing our business. So those connections are really critical. But I think specifically for our business, for First Mark Insurance Group, for that business, the connections that I hear you asking about are just the internal connections, being part of the First Mark family. You work at First Mark, you're part of our family, and those connections really matter to us. I mean, those we will prioritize people over profit all day, every day. Because we believe that those relationships are the most important thing. And so that's just really in the DNA of our company is we invest in those relationships through our leadership team, invest in their folks through regular connections, conversations with people that are more than just about insurance. It's that we want to know what's going on in your life, right? Work's just a part of who you are. So we're really trying to connect at a really personal level. And then we have activities that we do too. We try to get together once a month. We're 100% remote as a company. So we have 75 employees that are spread out, that are remote, that we don't see each other every day at the water cooler, right? So we try to set up activities where we're getting together for dinners once a month, or we're going to local. We're out here in Seattle, so we'll go to a Mariners game, or we'll go to a local hockey game or something. So just yeah, I think those connections, they take a long time to build, but what doesn't, that's worth it, right? You've got to really invest in it and be committed to them. And they can disappear really quickly. So and that's why I share with our teams too, is like, yeah, relationships. Do you think your wife you can like just build a relationship with her for 2 or 3 years and then just check out for a while and it's not going to have damage to the relationship? No. Right. So like we want to be intentional, invest in them and grow them, but then we need to continue to stay in there. Even when things seem like they're going fine and there's nothing to worry about, we double down, we still stay connected and build those connections.
You know what's interesting, Dave? I remember it like it was yesterday, and it feels like it was yesterday. It was probably about close to 3 years ago. I met Chris Paradiso for the first time. And when I met Chris Paradiso, he told me out of his mouth, he said, Marques, if you're looking to meet me and get all of my connections, get all of my introductions in the first week, first go around, he said, please now hang up the phone and never talk to me again. And I said, wow, that's direct. He said, Marques, you have no idea how many people will come to me wanting that, and then no type of relationship, no type of connection, and no type of real like quote unquote brotherhood, right? Or no type of like real like togetherness. And I
Mm-hmm.
remember that like it was yesterday, Dave, because I met Chris through my longtime friend Mick Hunt. So I met Mick Hunt
Okay.
first, then I met
Yeah.
Chris, then I met Ryan Hanley, Dave Carothers, Mike Stromso, Darren Vermos, Daniel Song, Wesley Anderson. And you know what, Dave? I'm going to talk about that for a moment. That's how I met Felix Morgan from Trucordia. Wesley is a good connection of his. It was like last November, Wesley said, hey, Marques, please connect with Felix, have him on your podcast. I said, awesome. He connected us. Felix came onto the podcast. Felix loved it. We had a call after. They hired me to do some speaking. And now we're working on larger projects together. I nailed it for them there. And we're getting lots of repeat business. And I met the event planner who worked for Trucordia, who's now introduced me to other people from like larger organizations, furniture brands, IT, car, you name it. But
Yeah.
again, ladies and gentlemen, that came from me sitting down with Mick Hunt about 3.5 years ago for lunch at Red Lobster. And sitting there, and the bill came, and I picked it up. He said, Marshall, I said, man, I got this. And then he came on my podcast. I went on his podcast. But again, Dave, that was 3.5 years ago. And now all these amazing relationships, now you're into my inner circle and so on and so forth. And so, Dave, my question is,
Mm.
how do you try to express to your team your people, your inner circle, or anybody in general, that sales is not about the transaction. It's about the relationship you build. And then over time, as you build a relationship, everybody starts to come together where everybody wins.
Yeah. Man, that's so good, but I love this. This is awesome. Um, because I think if going back to your word authentic, if you're authentic in your interactions with people, if you're in it for the right reasons, if you go into a situation thinking, what can I get out of this? You're doomed to fail, right? It's like go into it like, what can I give? What can I learn about this person? Who are they? And if you do that, and you're consistent with that, opportunities present themselves. You don't have to go looking for them, right? So for us at First Mark, how we teach our team to do this is we have something called the First Mark Challenge. So when through our advertising and marketing, we encourage people to take the First Mark Challenge. And what the First Mark Challenge is sit with one of our team. Let us take you through this process. We're going to evaluate your current situation. We're going to evaluate to make sure, do you have the right coverage first and foremost? And then if you do, let's make sure we get it for you at the most affordable price, and let's back it up with world-class service. So we want to take you through that process. At the end of the process, our goal is simply through that to be a guide. We want to guide you through it. At the end of it, we're going to come back with recommendations, and those recommendations might be stay with your current broker, make a few changes. They might be let's make a change, but all we're hoping for at the end is that we have given you more information than you had when we started the process, and the magic word we want to hear out of your mouth at the end is thank you. That's all. Whether you stay where you are, you move to us, we want to hear a thank you. So that's how I try to convey to our team that this is not a transactional thing. This is a process we're going to go through, and we're going to enter into a relationship with this person that the number one goal is will be beneficial to them. So that's, yeah, we discourage, we don't share commission schedules with any of our agents, our sales guys. They don't know which company pays what splits. That has no bearing on the recommendations we're going to make.
Dave, this is fantastic because again, you're getting back to the whole root of sales, which is people, right? I know people get concerned at times about AI automation, but I tell everybody it's a tool. It's a tool. That's all it
Yeah.
is. As a matter of fact, Dave, I just got an email from the professional insurance agents of DC, Virginia, North Carolina. We're speaking for the Virginia chapter at the Danville Casino in Danville, Virginia on June. I'm actually speaking on the 17th. I'm that Wednesday, and we're talking about how AI helped to build our business. And again, like I tell people, AI is part of the marketing, it's part of your funnel, it's part of your workflow, but it doesn't take over. It doesn't run everything. It's a tool that you should be
Mhm.
utilizing to take your business to the next level. And that's what it's all about. And so, Dave, let me ask you this question. So when I speak on stage, especially in insurance, I talk a lot about how to become the best leader when it comes to mastering sales through Aristotle's teaching. Aristotle talked about five keys because he coached Alexander the Great on how to be a great general to get him to have people follow him. And that's all sales is. It's the transfer of energy. You're like, I'm excited about this. I'm passionate about this. So should you be. It'll work for you. It'll solve your problems. That's what sales is. So he told Alexander, number one is your character. He said, if your men ever question your character, it's over. Two, he said, it's passion, or you can call it your energy or emotion. He said, if people think you're not excited about something, then we're going to follow you. Three is a reason. Why should those men follow you into potential death and battle? Give them a reason. Four, metaphors. Everybody that knows about Alexander the Great knows his favorite book was the Iliad by Homer. It was his book. He thought he was Achilles, the great warrior. So again, tell things through metaphors. And
Hmm.
five, be concise. Dave, as an individual who's successful at First Mark in the insurance space, how you could approach things, doing masterminds, meeting you through Chris Paradiso, right, my friend? Of those five, character, emotion, reason, metaphors, and be concise, which do you feel is most important and why?
Character.
Love it.
Why?
Why?
Because it's the foundation to all those other things. If you're not a man of character, if you're not a person of character, uh, that will come to light. You cannot hide that. It will come to light, and anything else you've built on that will crumble. So to me, it's clearly it starts with character. Now, I haven't read that. I don't know. I haven't studied it like you have. And maybe if I spend a bunch of time in there, maybe I come back with a close number two. But as I sit here right now, just hearing that for the first time and listening to you be passionate about it and getting me excited about it, I would still say to me it's character.
And character is definitely number one. And again, I feel it kind of goes in the order, character in that order, because again, character is everything, right? First, Mark, Dave Taylor, his partner, his people embody the character, the five-star character you look for when doing business with people in the insurance space. And that's why you all are so successful. That's why you're a friend of Chris Paradiso in his inner circle. Being in his inner circle means you've been vetted. Whether you realize it or not,
Mm.
you've been vetted because he's not going to bring anybody to that circle that doesn't belong or that's going to take from others without giving. Like I said, Dave, I am so excited to have you here today to share your wisdom, your insight. First, Marcus, again, a lot of people are in the construction space, they're in the commercial space, they're in the business space. It's always great to have great insight from people like you. So, again, Dave, phenomenal interview. Again, great wisdom, great thought process. How can people get in touch with you if they'd like to find out more information or get some information on a quote or inquiry from your awesome organization?
Yeah, just reach out. Dave at firstmarkinsurance.com. Reach out. I'll get you connected with either the answers or we'll set up a Zoom call. I love to meet people. Anybody wants to have a conversation about business, about any of the stuff you and I just talked about, that's the fun stuff. So I would love to talk to anybody. Again, Dave at firstmarkinsurance.com.
Love it. Last question, Dave. What do you feel is the number one trait, the number one characteristic that has made you and First Mark so successful?
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's because it's the word you started off the conversation with. But authentic comes to mind for me is, just I think um, if I was to poll everybody at First Mark and talk to them about, why they're here, and I think it's going to be because they really believe that they're part of something special, that they are heard, they are valued, they are appreciated, and it's just a real authentic relationship. So I think I'd go with that. That'd be the quick answer off the cuff for you.
I love it. Again, an authentic response from an authentic guy. That's exactly what I was expecting you to say. So again, phenomenal. It's just what I thought. It's a perfect answer to a perfect end of this awesome segment. Ladies and gentlemen, again, my name is Marques Ogden. I want to leave you with this authentic tip of this great interview. In life, always learn to have and cast a vision. And you heard Dave say it. He is constantly refreshing his vision to make sure that his vision is aligned between him, his partner, and his awesome team. That's what it's all about. When everybody is aligned around a unified vision, greatness is on the horizon, just like the ITC Vegas theme, horizon of endless possibilities. It works. Have that mentality. Again, my name is Marques Ogden. I am the host of the Get Authentic with Marques show. Thanks for tuning in. Have a fantastic day.